Hi there, I'm Miss Koenig, and this is a quick video tutorial on significant figures. Let's jump right in. To determine which digits in a number are significant, there are three rules you should follow. The first is fairly straightforward. All non-zero numbers, anything that's not a zero, is significant. In the case of 400, that leaves us with the 4 as a significant digit. The second rule of significant figures states that zeros that fall between non-zero numbers are significant. So the first rule told us that the 4 and the 7 would be significant. In this case, because there's a 0 that falls between two non-zero numbers, that number is significant as well. 407 has three significant digits. The third rule tells us that trailing zeros are significant. What that means is, as soon as you see a decimal place, zeros surrounding that decimal place become significant. In this case, this number has three significant digits. The same would be true if I had multiple zeros surrounding. As soon as we see a decimal place, we can determine that these three zeros are significant, as are the 3 and 5. So that number has five significant digits. There is one exception to the three rules that we've covered so far, and that exception is rounding. Let's talk more about that. If we have a value like 440,000 and we have knowledge of how that number has been rounded, we can add more significant figures to the list. In this case, let's assume we're talking about a population. Now, this population could have started out at 440,106. And let's say it had been rounded to the thousands place. In that case, all three of these digits, what it has been rounded to, are significant. Let's say instead that this population started out at 440,062. And let's say this number had been rounded to the hundreds place, in which case all four of these digits would be significant. The idea here is that every value that is known and one value that has been rounded are significant. So the three rules that we've learned have said that non-zero digits are significant, zeros that fall between non-zero digits are significant, and trailing zeros are significant. And all of those three rules answer these two questions. What is known and what can we assume? And what we're assuming is that the last digit is often something that has been rounded. And that helps us to create and follow the three rules surrounding significant figures. So coming back to the numbers that we talked about previously. In 400, we determined that only the 4 was a significant digit. In this case, we don't know if it's 410, 420, or even 445. All of those would round to 400, which means that the 4 could be a rounded value and is the only significant figure. In 407, we determined that all three digits were significant. Again, we don't know if that number used to be 407.1 or even 406.5. Both of those would round to 407. So the 400 is known, the 0 is known, and the 7 is the number that could have been rounded, which makes all three of these digits significant. In the last number, 40.0, we could have had 40.01 or 40.04598, whatever. Both of those things would have rounded to 40.0, which makes the 4 known, the 0 before the decimal place known, and the last 0 potentially rounded, which makes all three of these digits significant. To reiterate, all known digits and one potentially rounded digit are significant. I hope this helps you better understand significant figures. There are three rules you should be following. Rounding adds an interesting caveat to it, but those three rules will typically get you to the right location. And then if rounding is known, you can use your knowledge of how a number has been rounded to determine more significance. I hope that helps. Have a great day.